Welcome to MMT Chats. This episode brought to you by ISCAR with new ideas for machining intelligently. Hey, MMT followers, Christina Fugis with MoldMaking Technology back for another quick MMT chat. And today, my guests both come from the Plastics Industry Association, and they are Chief Operating Officer Glenn Anderson, and we have the Director of Trade Show Marketing, Damaris Piraino. Hello to both of you.
Hello.
And they are here to talk about everything NPE 2024. So welcome again, both of you.
Thank you.
All right, before we dive into what's happening with NPE, why don't you give our viewers, both of you, and we'll start with you, Glenn, a little bit of your background about who you are.
Okay, certainly. I have been in the plastics industry for 41 years. It's the only industry I've ever worked in, and I have a lot of passion for that as a result. Prior to working at plastics, I worked for a machinery builder for 31 years and leveraged that experience that I consolidated over the last 31 years to bring it over to the Plastics Industry Association to help just build out and have industry knowledge. The industry perspective, our members all know it, they live it. This is an opportunity to just make sure we can transfer some of that information to the team at Plastics.
I love it. That's a lot of wealth and experience and passion for the plastics industry. I can feel it. All
Yes.
right, Damaris, how about you?
I have less experience in the plastics industry, but lots of experience in the trade show industry. I've always worked on trade shows. I worked on the International Builder Show for several years and then moved over to the International Sign Association to work on ISA Sign Expo. So very familiar with trade shows and getting all the attendees there, but very excited to work on the mega event that is NPE.
Oh, I like that, the mega event. All right, so I guess we should start off, we can't make any assumptions, right, by people watching this. So why don't one of you give a very brief description of what NPE is?
Okay. Well, we have 6 years between shows, as we all know, due to COVID. So we are changing the look and feel of NPE. First and foremost, what doesn't change is this is a machinery show for the people that are working to sell their goods and services to the plastics industry. We cannot lose sight of that. That's job number one. The second thing is to, with the workforce development issues, with all the things that are going on from the baby boomers that are aging out of the workforce and others that are moving outside of the plastics industry, we believe that this show is going to be much different in 2024 than it ever has been before. And as a result of that, we have to appeal to a newer and younger audience. And so that in and of itself is one of the key challenges that we have for 2024.
You agree, Damaris? I mean, that I would say COVID in general, with even your experience with trade shows in general, the experience and expectations have changed dramatically in 3 years.
Yeah, everyone really expects a more personalized experience, and I think that really leans into the theme that we have this year. I think if you've attended NPE before, you're going to go to NPE and you're going to see all the things that you loved about it before, everything on the trade show floor, but then there's going to be all of these new things that people aren't really expecting. We talk a lot about what's new at NPE. There's a whole blog about it on the website, but I think even with that entire list of new features, people are going to get to the show and say, wow, I wasn't expecting that. So it's a more modern NPE.
I like that. So we should say it's NPE stands for the National Plastics Exposition, correct? But it's international, right? It's not just United States or Canada. We're bringing in people from all over the world, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
We've got attendees from over 110 countries and exhibitors from 34 countries, I believe.
All right. So why don't both of you tell me, what are you most excited about for this next NPE?
Glenn, you want to go first?
Go ahead.
We're both so polite on this call. I think I'm most excited about the energy on the show floor. I think people are really excited to get back on the floor to do business and be back together again after 6 years. We talk about how big NPE is, and I think every year people underestimate it and get there and are like, oh my goodness, it really is that big.
Yeah, you need to have an agenda when you go to this show.
Absolutely. Yeah.
How about
Yeah,
you, Glenn?
For me, it's really, I've been, this will be my, I believe, 14th NPE when we go in May. And you have seen it certainly transform into what it is today. But I think what you're going to see in May next year is going to be a completely new show. We've said that a number of times, but that's what makes me so excited. This is an opportunity for us to, in many ways, with a clean sheet of paper, really look at what can the plastics industry do, because the plastics industry association is the one that produces NPE.
Yeah.
What can we do for the plastics industry that makes this a can't miss experience? And to me, that's something that's pretty cool, because we are revolutionizing NPE.
Is there a specific show theme?
Yes, it's made for you. It's about personalizing the show to find the products, services, connections you need to grow your business. Plastics play a huge role in so many different industries: automotive, medical, packaging. So everyone comes in with a different agenda, and we want people to customize that agenda, from the exhibitors they visit on the show floor to the education sessions they attend.
And how are you helping them do that, the attendee?
More of everything.
More of everything.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that.
More education. This is the first year we have a dedicated content director focused on education. So there's over 100 education sessions for people to choose from. There is a specific molding track that I'm sure your followers will be interested in. Some more networking opportunities. We've got our first ever opening party, which I think people are really excited about. Creating opportunities for people to come together, because it's been such a long time.
That face-to-face.
Yeah.
Are there specific, are you going to go ahead, Glenn?
Yeah. And, if you look at it, it's a small sample size, but of the people that have registered so far, 46% of them are first timers to the show. We anticipate that number is going to be over 50% when it's all said and done. So this is
that's fantastic.
We need to educate that younger, newer group of people that are going to make plastics their career. And this is an opportunity for us to do that.
Will those first timers have special badges?
We have a first time attendee lounge, and we have a first time attendee event. I don't know about the badge.
I think they'll have just a regular attendee badge, but the lounge is for sure the place to go for them.
That is a great stat to throw out there, because if you think about it, even what we were saying before with COVID and the switch in trade shows, people are very deliberate about who they're sending. And I think the next generation became a little bit, from my experience with trade shows, became a little iffy on the value of these things. So it is wonderful for them to see that they're acknowledging that they need to meet people face to face. Enough of this virtual, enough of these phone calls and emails. Let's get on the floor. Let's look at technology up close, and let's make actual physical connections, learn in person. That makes me excited, that number. I can't lie. That's a really good number. So what industry trends? People talk about artificial intelligence and automation, 3D printing. What industry trends is the trade show following that it's going to be evident in the educational side and in the exhibits on the show floor?
Well, if you look at what has happened since the last NPE in 2018, the fervor against plastics as a material has gone off the charts. And as a result, we've created Recycling is Real. We've done a lot of things to support the fact that we love plastics. We hate plastics waste. We have to be able to continue to walk that talk, because sustainability is the key number one issue in the world right now. Matt just came back from the Global Plastics Treaty in Kenya, and there's a lot of work being done there. There's a lot of work yet to be done, and it's going to take years.
Agree. Damaris, how about you? trends, technology?
It adds sustainability on there. We
Mm.
have a brand new circularity hub that we're really excited about. Glenn mentioned recycling is real. That's going to be very prominent in that space. Workforce development and employee retention is another huge trend we're seeing on the education side as
Oh,
well.
yeah. Is there anything, so when you think about mold making technology and our target reader is that mold builder, that mold designer, the owner of that mold shop, whether it's within a tool room, within an OEM, a brand owner, or within a converter, a molding facility, what do you think, what is your advice, or what do you get excited about for that little nugget of manufacturing of plastics for this show? What should they be on the lookout for?
I think one of the things that from my history that I've really enjoyed watching the mold makers, number one, the innovation in the technology. That almost goes without saying. But in many cases, the mold makers are the leading indicators to how the entire industry is going to behave, because they're seeing products in the infancy of their development. And that gives, the material people probably as well, but on the equipment side, it lags behind that unless you're working on a comprehensive system. The industry is really looking very closely at what the mold makers are doing, because in many ways they are out in front and they have a lot of indicators that will tell us how the rest of the industry is going to do over the next year.
I agree with that. That's how I look at them too. If they're busy, you can start to see things unfold in that industry, right? When they're slower, you start to see it go the other way.
The other thing I would add too is we're working with our colleagues at the VDMA over in Germany. And if you remember at the K show, they had, I believe, 28 exhibitors tie into OPC UA. And what that does is it allows those 28 participants to gain access to data. And data is driving our industry more than it ever has. We need to be data driven, and this gives you the platform to be able to look and see not only what you're doing, but in some cases what other people are doing as well. So that is a trend that I think is going to stay, and we can only build it out. It's got a lot of exciting potential.
That's a great partnership. All right. So finally, are there any pending, because right now, it's November, December, end of the year is coming up, any pending offers or discounts with registration or, deadlines that our viewers need to be aware of?
100%. So pricing for special event tickets, networking events, workshops, all 3 registration types will increase December 15th. So if you're interested in attending NPE, now is really the time to lock in the lowest possible rate. I'd say the same for hotels and housing. If you book a room in the official NPE hotel room block, your reservation only requires your first night's deposit, and then you're guaranteed the lowest rate during the show. So book your hotel early so you're close to the convention center. You can hop on the shuttle bus and save yourself a little bit of taxi money.
Agreed. All right. Well, thank you both for your time and for sharing all that information on NPE 2024. For those watching who want to be kept up to date, visit npe.org. And I'm sure MoldMaking Technology, maybe we'll even do this again a few weeks from now or a month from now to provide updates for our viewers. Again, so thank you.
We look forward to the
Thank you.
opportunity. Thanks, everybody.
All right. And to everyone watching, remember, for everything mold making, visit moldmakingtechnology.com. Stay informed and stay inspired.